Sometimes, while preparing to say the best they are capable of, a person forgets that it's enough to simply express what's inside them, and that is enough. The film you are about to watch is My Journey Through Bulgaria in 15 Cities. On the occasion of my book Touching Reality, which has long ceased to be mine, this is my touch to your reality, to your world. I just want to ask you one thing. While you watch this film, think about all of you who have already come into contact with the book. What did it change in you? What did it add? What did you take from it? Did it turn your thoughts upside down? Did it stir your mind? Did it get you involved in even more paradoxes of the mind? At the end of this film, I will tell you how excited I am, how we can continue this discussion about the impact and value that we create. The book remains both in my heart and in many of yours as well. Enjoy watching. I'm excited. It's our first time in Sliven. We parked right in the center. The weather is great. It might get later, but that doesn't bother us. For the first time, I will present a touch of reality here, and it really is a very special feeling. Let me briefly separate things before bringing them together. Each one of you has a regular job, let's put it that way. Each one of you goes out into the world, into everyday life, every day. Listen, he listens to what people are saying around him. Each one of you has experienced that feeling of pressure, of not being understood, of all sorts of things happening around the world. And here it's as if someone has turned on a jammer. Yes, a device for blocking information. No one is to blame, neither for the things that have happened, nor for who ended up where, who received how many books, who knows more, who knows less. That doesn't matter in the whole scheme of existence. You are all light, you are all energy, you are all vibrations. It's just that some are a bit more ready to consider possibilities, while others simply want to stay and watch for various reasons. Well, it doesn't look like it, but not everything happens just because you want the experience of this book to be like you're reading a novel, as if you're immersing yourself in another world, which actually isn't as far away as it seems. This is your book, you manifested it yourselves, because as a collective right now, you have zero need for yet another distraction or adjustment, and right now, I'm playing the role of the person who would write it and give it to you, nothing better. The book is about 320 pages long, but it contains a lot of information from ancient times to the present, to what manipulation really means, to the real reason we express ourselves and close ourselves off, to shutting ourselves off from the opportunities around us. What does it really mean to be a spiritual person? What do we understand by a spiritual person? Time, for example, it's very interesting and pleasant to be in God, to be spiritual, in the environment around us. And those who walk barefoot, who fast, and those who eat only once every 24 hours or only from the sun, try to be spiritual when the opportunity arises around you. If that's the case, we will see you. React then. When you read, give yourself a chance. Don't read it like someone who wrote something you have to remember, you have to see. It's just like that. Give yourself a chance, a chance. See one, a mirrored version of yourself. See an addition to the source. See something different and be as much as you find interesting. Our request to you is to be honest. Honesty is the fastest path to your desired reality, to the life you want to live. Be honest, always so genuine. Ask yourself tonight, with whom and why have I not been honest yet? And let's see if anything will be done. Do we have any gifts from yesterday? Good. In my reality, I create soaps as a divine mission and purpose so that people can receive real products from nature. I wish you great success on the tour and above all, love.
Here's another gift we've received. It's a wonderful jam made from Sliven peaches.
Palya and Soko. I'm grateful for what you do and I give you what we make. My first original sock design, Svetelina and Jordan, very interesting socks. The ones that made me a contender in court. Thank you, Golovica. You don't even want to put them on your feet, but to keep them in the drawer.
Subscribe.
Hello, we're heading to Yambol. It's very interesting. We've never had a meeting in Yambol before, and now we're leaving from Sliven. Sliven was very nice. We had a very warm welcome. Today is Lazarus Saturday, so we'll all be celebrating together. Tomorrow is Palm Sunday in Burgas. Our 3-day journey continues, and so it will until we visit all the cities from our first tour and the Touching Reality tour. And I'm really curious to see what will happen in Yambol. What do you think?
I think it's really cool. Okay, let's go. Here we are in Yambol and we're at the Saglasi Community Center, which has a blue hall that's very beautiful and also very pleasant. It's exactly in line with the theme of the book because the book has a blue hue and the blue really matches. We're very pleasantly surprised by how the hall looks and we're expecting everyone to come soon.
Life or the bridge is not what it seems. A lot of things happen on different levels when we give away our attention and are focused on something at the same time, and things happen. This is a very difficult, very abstract concept, very illogical for the physical brain. Hi. And if you rewind the tape while listening to this information, you will see that everything you have done in your life is the reason to pull it out of you, and you, no matter whether you admitted it or not, needed to be exactly in that place. And in this sense, the material in the book, even though it's light and goes along with jokes, analogies, fun and stories, it's actually so serious, and only the doctor will get to it, only those who really want to change themselves. The book is not a manual. I've written that. It's not some universal formula. You won't see anything like that because there won't be anything like that. If someone explains how to do something, do it. Stay away from the universe, the planets, they move according to their own laws, but from there on, everything is individual, the whole is mind, the world is mental. 27,000 years before Christ, Herma was changed through Thoth. Atlanta gives these notes to humanity. Everything is first conceived, everything first manifests in the mind, and then thanks to our actions, thought begins to be realized. And it happens with a delay, as it is approached, moved. During the Renaissance, Michelangelo sought to demonstrate this beautifully, a channeled message to humanity, and it is truly wonderful. With the creation that demonstrates how Adam has put his finger out, on the other side is God, and he has almost touched him. What is this almost that Adam is missing, and what was Michelangelo trying to say? And to leave it as a lasting and timeless mark for all of humanity. What is that? Is it honest to admit that you have always sought this divinity and that your actions have always been guided by it? Or will you pretend, just as you pretend in other things? We surprised the wonderful girl who, before our event in Yambol started, served us very tasty coffee and said that she is a big admirer and fan of ours, along with her brothers, but she is at work and can't come. And that's why we decided after the event was over to go and surprise her with 2 books and a gift for her and her brothers. And yes, she started crying.
She got emotional. That's really cool.
Really cool, that's the point.
How was it in Yambol?
Strange?
What was the difference from Sliven?
The people were a bit more subdued. I mean, it took them a bit more time to realize that such an event was really happening and that they were going to experience something different information, that it's something unusual compared to what they experience and go through every day in their daily lives. But after the 20th or 30th minute, it became very fun and people got interested. The lecture and what I talked about had almost nothing to do with Sliven, and yes, it was very interesting. They were very kind at the signing. It's strange, but everything has its exact precise place, and we shouldn't rush to judge, to label, to put tags on things. Now we are already in Burgas at the port, and we will spend the night here and tomorrow. At 11:30 we are at the Congress Center Burgas, and for Burgas I am also curious to see who will come, what kind of people. Yes, but now we will enjoy dinner, a well-deserved rest and sleep. Hello, as always, your table pays me while we fix things, but that's how we are on tour from room to room. At the same time, we are ready. We are very excited about Burgas. It feels bigger, more grand, with a broader energy. We'll see what happens. We're really excited. What is the reality? What will happen? Is it something stable? How sure are you that you are stable? How sure are you that it is not stable? When you truly believe that control is the highest form of trust and potential, then things, whatever they are for you, happen. And even though I don't come from a musical family, I don't have such a background, I've never received it, studied music, how to compose, what to do. At one point I worked at the Voice Radio and television. I was surrounded by colleagues who curate playlists and music and have been in the industry for 20 years. My entire phone book filled up with the biggest stars, the top performers at that particular time about 10 years ago. And that's just one layer of the whole thing, and you think today, from now on, everything will work out, that it's all coming together. And that's what happened. I announced it, as they say, I announced it. And then it started provoking questions in me, which constantly began to vibrate through my body like elephant cars. And at the end of that meeting, he told me, come on, let's go through the bookstore again if you want, just in case. And I said, okay. And he, the teacher in the book, I call him that in the first 2 chapters, because after that, our paths separated and the teacher begins. They saw me, the bookstore, no, it doesn't work here, it doesn't work like that here, come on, give it here. If you give me a punishment, I'll take it. 2 from the book For Good or Evil, out of so many books, not Dasha herself, apparently a cop. I started to become braver a week before a video came out that really exposed me in the public space, reaching 500 to 600,000 people. A week before that, I released a video with my story. When that attack came out, I'll tell you, I felt pain, I felt numbness. Of course, and in a bit I'll tell you about that. But I had already gone through all the pain beforehand, I had already experienced it, and that's when I realized what a huge lesson it was. If we want something to come true in our world and in our reality, we really have to experience it now, because it's already happening, but not just think that it's already happening. but to take the closest possible action around us according to our abilities so that we reinforce it and make it look like that's how it's happening. Hello, it happened, I'm tired, but it's great. On Palm Sunday the weather was nice, it was wonderful in Burgas. Impressive, it will be remembered for a long time, forever. Thank you very much for wrapping up this trio from our tour, and we're heading to Plovdiv, deservedly so. So many hearts, so much energy. Just thank you for coming, for taking your time to be here, for being sincere, for being open, and for being willing to talk. That says a lot about you.
Hello, welcome. Today we are starting a new 3-city stretch, which are Veliko, Tarnovo, then we are in Blagoevgrad, and after that Kustendil.
The day before the elections, on the 18th, we will be in Kustendil.
A legendary day. Today we will discuss some interesting things.
Like what?
For example, we'll see, maybe I won't tell you.
Are you preparing for this thing? Did you prepare something? Tell me now. I didn't prepare anything. You never prepare anything. It doesn't matter.
Preparation. In this case, I think that preparation is what you do, and then when you are who you are, you. Well,
The book is quite a big preparation because, it's the foundation preparation.
hey, when you talk about yourself, about your personal experience, about things you've been through, it becomes very natural and the preparation kind of ruins it. Unless you have some specific time, let's say. Or for example, what was it? Back then, the 2-hour conversation was in a presentation format. It was really cool and I had no preparation.
And usually you adjust yourself according to the people when you see them, when you see their vibe and their attitude. You take your cue from them. Yes, it's interesting.
Yes, because there are a lot of things we can talk about, we can expand the information, we can twist it. And actually there are many, many different branches in the book which are topics in themselves and so on.
See you in a bit.
When you hear spiritual person, what do you imagine when someone tells you he is spiritual or a spiritual person? Yeah, and what does this person usually look like? And what does he look like on the outside? Normal. Okay, for you that's normal. That's because you're how old, right? Because you're 19. Let's ask someone who's 60. That was my idea too. I thought these people are either super happy, like life has really smiled on them, or they devote themselves to what's called hermitage and they're on a different path. Yeah, but what did a man with so much knowledge do? He drove a car with 700 horsepower, took me to the most expensive restaurants and places in Sofia. I'm a student just like you. Can you afford that? I was the same way. I go and he tells me, now we're sitting in one of the most expensive places in Sofia, and he tells me, order yourself a coffee. Back then, coffee cost 11 leva, which was all the money I had for the week. He told me to get one and not go without all week. Until you get it, we can't move forward. I didn't understand it, but then he gave me my first lesson about vibration. Actually, if you don't take action yourself, through the action that's available to you right now, the closest action you can take, if you don't do that and relax, you'll never expand your consciousness, your vibration, your possibilities. And really, that was my last money, and I said to myself, okay, I'll get my coffee, let's see what will happen with this book. In the cafe, in one chapter, I share real personal experiences. My idea was, since I was taking quite a long time, in my opinion, 3 years, because at first it sounded like a textbook, it sounded like a chemistry textbook. You open it and someone tells you what it is and what you have to do, and it took me time and a process of self-analysis and even self-denial, self-doubt about what I had written. Does it make sense at all? Every creator, no matter in what field, goes through these stages. Does this thing make sense? Hi. Who are you looking for? Are you looking for mom? I don't know who mom is. This book is not for those who want to say stop. I already know. I used to think the same way when I met this person. And that's why Socrates said, I know that I know nothing, but others don't even know that. Since you are currently completely free and we are already dealing with and are in an affair with a lot of information, and constantly each of you reads, each of you watches a different channel, each of you gets information from a different source, it's normal. All of us, I mean the people who stand and constantly speak in front of an audience, to start challenging you, as I wrote in one of the notes, to stop pretending to be stressed. Please stop. We all need you. We all do this because of you. All of us. And these messages that constantly come out through our heads, through our hearts, are for everyone and in the name of everyone. No one can exist without their environment. Scientists are already discovering that the universe operates in packets of information called quanta. These are small bits of information, and they even say we are deputies. 99.99% empty space, and after that, what comes next, we don't know. In reality, there's nothing around us, but we're so caught up in our thoughts. We've attached so many labels and beliefs to what's real and what isn't, that collectively we create, for example, this door here, and we know how it creaks, what's behind it, who might appear, what they would look like. And at some point, all those images, which are just images, while you're focused on something else, when they knock on the door of your consciousness, you call them for help. And in this way, a real picture appears before you. In fact, there's nothing behind it. Become observers of reality, detach a bit from your personal beliefs. Allow yourself for a moment to let different information come in, and only then draw a conclusion about whether it will help you or if it might help someone else. Or you can simply leave it on the shelf and let it be just another book gathering dust. Just find some music, something that you enjoy, something that affects you. For me, for example, it's the movie Interstellar or the music of Hans Zimmer. Or it could be a landscape that just looking at makes you cry. Look at it right away, then close your eyes. Try.
We are in a place called El Ecotornovo. We woke up to mountain air with a view of Tsarevets, so it was great.
Oh, hi file. We could film the entire video this way. Fix it. If you break me up this, what are you? The mind is thinking.
That it's really cool for a person to be able to touch the earth.
Hello friends, we're heading to Blagovgrad. I wanted to make a special announcement, Vali, to thank all the people for the gifts they bring us in every city.
Thank you for the gifts. We've received all kinds of things. I think we have a video from Sliven that will include where we show what we received there, but people keep giving us things. Yesterday they gave us 2 wonderful eggs with a very beautiful stand and a tennis racket. Yes.
Thank you for being generous. Thank you for the way you treat us. Books and all kinds of other things that you feel are suitable for the visuals.
In Sliven, they gave you jam, quince, peaches, and Sliven peaches, yes, and socks.
Three years ago, I started this project, Touching Reality. I didn't know it was called that. I just had a lot of scattered information in Word from ancient Egypt, from Hermeticism, from esotericism, from spirituality, from science, from biology, from chemistry, from philosophy. Everything that interested me was just thrown together. when I allowed myself to really explore myself and admit that I truly contain a vast amount of information within me, I realized that I have more than 1,200 personal notes on my phone, and before that, it was like I hadn't even noticed them might. These notes later became the foundation for A Touch of Reality. In recent years, I managed to recognize some very specific patterns. These are the patterns of manipulation. I dedicated an entire chapter to manipulation with a specific purpose, with a specific idea. In general, I'm not that kind of person. I didn't want to deal with that part of things at all, because I know that whatever you focus on, you start attracting more of it to yourself. Everything is a mirror in the universe, but my conscious choice changed it. I asked myself how I could present it, so that it can help people recognize what is truly manipulation, regardless of external factors or your own personality. Global manipulation, what they show on TV, what we see in commercials, on banners, what is somehow instilled in our minds every day. How sure are you that it's really like that? People, at any given moment, we have the free choice to decide how we will proceed from here on out. And if up until now we've made all kinds of mistakes, and each of us has, or we've noticed patterns that we simply like, from any given moment on we can become a different person, because every single moment is priceless. There is no repeating frame in the universe. Every single element is unique in the universe.
Hello, we are already in Dio, and in a little while we are going to the youth center, where today the presentation of A Touch of Reality will take place. I'm curious if more young people will come to the youth center.
No, today is very interesting because when we arrived, there was a very strong wind blowing, and at one point, just as we arrived, it immediately started to rain. But let it be a good sign for us, and here, for the first time in Dio. I'm excited, I'm curious, it's the same for all of us. We don't know what's going to happen, we don't know how the event will go.
I don't know what to expect.
And everything is always fine and it's unique.
It's very interesting. I really like that we're on the road. It's very different. It's fun. We're spending time together, and it's just like a self-imposed challenge, which is really cool. As for today, just like for any other city, we absolutely never have any expectations. It's very strange because we've either been to most places a few times or rarely. It's definitely not for such an occasion either, with a world-class event. We don't know how many people to expect, what kind of people to expect, or what their mood will be. Everything is always new. And it's a kind of research that's very interesting, so it's kind of cool.
Everything vibrates in the universe, everything moves in some way, everything has some kind of speed. But when we look from the perspective of a person who's wondering what to eat today, once again, or whether they'll have enough money, how often will they think about this concept? Quantum mechanics is based on a very fundamental principle, and it is the following. If a particle, and all of us have particles in us, is not observed, then it remains just a wave. And what is a wave? Vibration, energy, potential, but not complete, not realized, not gathered, not materialized. And then, based on this principle, we understand that the movies that have existed for a long time now, I am complete, by the way, directing, because cinema is one of my great passions. Movies like Interstellar, movies like Star Wars, movies that show human potential and its possibilities. At some point, they stop sounding like such distant science fiction. At some point, it turns out that ancient civilizations knew the laws of the heart, the laws of the universe, much better. And it seems like at this moment we're just discovering this knowledge all over again, and we will be learning, that is, first, how to adapt it in the 21st century, which is very technological, artificial intelligence, television everywhere, advertisements, social networks, and so on. Let me give you an example. In ancient Egypt, while they were mummifying not only pharaohs but also animals, by the way, they removed everything from their bodies, including the brain. And they used to take it out through the nose, except for one single thing, the heart. Why? Because later we understand, thanks to scientists in the States, an institute called the HeartMath Institute proved that the heart emits a field of energy 5,000 times stronger than that of the brain. How does that sound to you? Shocking and at the same time logical. Then the phrase, follow your heart, starts to take on a different meaning. Everything around us is energy, and with this energy, we have two options. Either to pretend through the very energy that surrounds us, which is still all around us, that it doesn't exist and there's no such thing, or to learn how to navigate it. Hello, we're starting on the road today at 3:23 from Ruse, and the first stop in this trilogy, Criceto is with me. You haven't seen him in the Unitary, right? Hello? We're very excited because we have Ruse, Dobrich, Varna. It feels massive, it feels grand, it feels complete, and it will be. You've been waiting for us to come to this region for a long time. Here we are, we've arrived, we've loaded up with everything we need. Books and time will be available for everyone. However, words won't be enough, but the emotions are there so we can relive them again and again.
We are very excited because we know that these will be three of the cities with the greatest enthusiasm and interest in the event. We are certain of that. We'll see if the expectations will be met, but no matter what, we're having a wonderful time.
I'm wearing my lucky black glasses. Wait, they're James Bond Ray-Ban Wayfarers, not James Baldwin. I think it was the 70s, 80s, so Piotr Ray is with us. What do you say? See you soon. Quantum mechanics is advancing with its development, and with the fact that around us, whether we accept it or not, there is 90.9% empty space. But to such an extent, our mind is a very good liar and manipulator that it manages to create familiar illusions and images to convince us. It firmly convinces us that this is a fact and that it is stable. But each one of us has felt this intervention, no matter whether we define it as divine, as invisible, or as an expanded version of ourselves. I began to see how a person is able, when they close their eyes, to receive information, or, as we call it in slang, a fax, really a fax, that can help you in your upcoming events, moving forward in your next choices, the so-called premonition. Science already has a name for this thing, and it's called precognition, precognitia, the ability to pick up frequencies and information from the so-called future. Why can each of us pick up these vibrations and frequencies? Just like with the radio, at one moment Derek is playing, at another moment Derek is playing again, then at another moment Horizont is on, then BNR is on, then BG radio, and all of this is happening simultaneously. But your focus at the moment can only be on one frequency. Who does this? How does it happen? These are questions that are worth asking and worth being considered. About 10 years ago, the so-called HeartMath Institute came to America. The HeartMath Institute, which proves that the heart emits electromagnetic impulses up to 5,000 times more than the brain, up to 5,000 times more than the brain. Each one of us from our heart emits electronics, an electromagnetic field, and in this way we have the opportunity to connect with others. That is, at some point they return to us with their smile, even to understand what they are thinking if we allow ourselves and focus. And then what our grandmothers and grandfathers used to tell us, follow your heart, grandma, starts to take on a different meaning. Then, for those of you who have read the journey of Carlos Castaneda and Don Juan, his mentor in South America, and Don Juan says to him, which path is the right one? And Don Juan turned to him and said, first ask, does this path have a heart? If it doesn't, don't even look that way. Hello, hello. As you can see, I'm not driving either. Now Vale is doing it. Hi Vale, hello. We're tuning in with unique things we want to tell you about. Yesterday, before we arrived near Ruse, there was a very big accident on the pass. I'm tuning in
to show you that we didn't just stumble upon this topic. Excuse me, Mr. Volkov, may I say that there was an accident?
Live broadcasts never go as planned,
You take it with complete calmness.
just as I can go out with complete calmness.
Subscribe to ours.
And there was an accident that delayed us by about 2 hours. The meeting was at 6 p.m. at 6 in the evening. He was giving it to us around 4 o'clock, so we would have time to go to the hotel, check in, but it turned out that he was giving it to us at 5:57 to be in front of the library in Ruse. But
Actually, the whole thing is that we stopped at the pass. We found out there was an accident, but there was absolutely no information, and we just sat there with all the cars stopped for about an hour and a half. At one point, we saw that a huge line of cars had formed behind us, and that we were literally just meters away from the accident. And then when we checked the news, we realized that it had happened about 10 or 15 minutes before we got there. The very interesting thing, the first thing that happened was that when we left Plovdiv from our office, I had forgotten the camera we're filming with right now, and we went back to the office. So, from Plovdiv, we went back to the office for about 15 minutes just to get the camera, which actually turned out to be something important at the moment when we stopped at the accident. And Chris realized what? If she hadn't forgotten the camera, maybe we would have been there right at the time of the accident, which is one of those many moments in life.
these are the signs and messages we talk about, messages from ourselves to ourselves. The idea is to read them, to observe them, and to know that this is not a coincidence. And what happened at that moment was that right on the road where the accident was, where the trucks had lined up, they had stopped them exactly parallel. Right where it was, the accident happened, from where it starts to where it ends. There was a dirt road, but not the kind that only off-road Jeeps, 4x4s with big tires could get through, but a road that regular cars could also go through. So they were able to direct us and send us down that road. On the road itself, there was a bit of drama again, because some people started going from above, others started going from below, and there was no one to direct traffic on that muddy road. So Navalya's mother stepped in, she helped, went to the front, and started telling people who should stop and who should go.
Our car, believe it or not, turned out to be the first car on one side and ended up right at a spot where the road was wider.
A widened shoulder so that we could pull over to the side and let others pass. Actually, all the other cars behind us had to back up. And we managed to stay there, wait for them to move out, and then pass through, which gave us the chance to arrive just on time. Yes.
We made it to the event on time. We were welcomed by people with very big hearts and a packed hall. 10 people, a whole team from the library. It's the first time something like this has happened to me. Usually we arrive earlier, we welcome some of the people, but this time it happened that they welcomed us, they were ready, seated, had prepared microphones, equipment, a table, water, absolutely everything needed, and they handed me the microphone right away. And I had to go straight from one storm into another to adjust myself and start, which sometimes I'm telling you is easier, because you don't have time to think about it, you don't have time to turn on your logic, you just dive right in, and it turned out amazing. I'm really grateful to everyone, honestly. Ruse, thank you so much. It was magical, because these are the moments and the trust, that certain confidence, the feeling that in the end, things will be okay, that we won't be late, and even if we are late. Even so, we've already set out and we'll get there, and it will happen. This event gives you a deep sense of calm, that things will work out. And just like in military training, it's the same in medical training. The very first step is to keep your cool, a deep sense of calm, not to act from a state of stress or panic, because that's when we really do stupid things and say things we don't mean and affect those around us. But when you stay calm, the field around you becomes calmer and things fall into place. So to speak, on their own, with a little help here and there, things happen, and that way you go much more easily with the flow of life. And right now we're traveling to Dobrich. We stopped to recharge because we're driving an electric car. We were looking for a station, we found one, but there was only one charging point and someone else was already using it, so we had to look for another one, but we found it. Everything is fine, we're traveling to Dobrich. It's a very exciting trio, Ruse, Dobrich and Varna. Because as we said, the feeling is grand, huge, and that's how it's been so far. We feel a lot of warmth from everyone. Thank you all very much for that. Obviously, it's a joint effort and we're connecting energetically, so see you in a bit in Dobrich. Think about it. Every step you've taken in your life, you've always been guided, you've always been nudged. But some of you have paid attention to these signals, others haven't. They're about to start considering it for the first time, and we'll be very happy if they do. This touch of reality sparked your interest and challenged you above all to become an outside observer of reality. As I tell you about the outside observer of reality, what is his role? His role is to participate in life, but at the same time, when he is aware and decides to really check what is happening, yes, this state of stepping back for a moment just to reflect, is this the path he wants to follow? Is he happy enough? Is he helping those around him? Is he helping others? Or is what's happening to him really about those around him? Should he return to the storm and live on Earth, or just play this game?
Hello, this is the new morning, and now we are needed from the hotel in Varna. It's good that yesterday we managed to travel from Dobrich to Varna, so that today we can... Our morning is easier because our event today is early at 10:30. We have to be in the hall, and we are very excited because this one in Varna is one of the most desired destinations to go on the tour. We chose the cities, and actually at the beginning we asked in a post where you want us to go. And based on people's comments, we chose the cities. Varna was maybe, after Sofia, probably the most desired city. So how do you feel?
I feel really good. I'm very excited. It feels great. And we got a good night's sleep, had some delicious food. The sun is shining, you're here, the sea is just to the left, the mood is wonderful, and there are a lot of cheerful people in general. I know it's going to be really nice. I feel really, really good.
I'm excited too. It has to be the best.
It's time for you to realize it, to change it, that you deserve it, that you can do it, that you're getting what you deserve. At every moment you are supported, valued, and everything is on your side always. If you know this, it will be much easier for you to handle anything that happens to you. Hello, welcome. Hey, we're starting in just a moment. People are constantly passing by, our friends whom we're meeting for the first time, but they've seen me many times. And hello, and the meeting is wonderful. The The beginning is curious, you'll find it interesting, you'll see some images, you'll get to know basic and alien races, you'll see different people, ships. Yes, exactly. Different technologies, different regressions, family connections, pains from the past. You will see this, you will do this. Some of you have done it, you've suffered, others don't want to admit it. I'm okay with that, right? In the end now, for all of us to move forward, it's necessary to start admitting what has passed through you, to share it if it's very hard for you. Like this, to more people, first to the closest person, even if it's hard for you, to the closest person, first to yourself. You take a camera, a phone, a voice recorder, a microphone, a journal, and you start writing to yourself. 9, 21, 36, 45, 72 days, as many as you want, as many as you can handle, every day when you wake up, your thoughts and what you really think. With the understanding that at first you won't show it to anyone, so you won't lie. And after the 9th day, after the 20th, the 21st day, when every day you write down what you feel, what your true impulses are, no matter how you look in the eyes of others. Looking back at day 1, you'll wonder, did I actually describe or write this? Am I really like that? Can't I look at things from another angle? Isn't there another point of view? Oh, they show this on YouTube, but are they just talking about it? Or is there actually some practice, some way to present this, to make things happen so they work out for me? The minus, whatever it is in our life, it's not really a minus. It's just an addition to our specific desires. Just like day and night, just like every environment or every person needs an additional surrounding environment, just like the cells in our body need a membrane, just like the ocean needs sand, just like the planets need the sun, around which they can revolve, just like everything that you move and see. There is, and it is made up of 2 polarities, one of which Ush is primary and another that constantly complements it. Why does it complement it? Well, have you heard of it? The expression is that each one is a reflection of all the others. We can't really understand or know ourselves the most if there isn't something in front of us to point it out to us. To say through his individuality why what he represents, sees, tries, and in this way. Well, here it was a bit rough, here I might have lied a little, is that right? Why, well, knowing them, why didn't you say? And it's not about blaming when we're honest about who didn't do what and feeling guilty, and to shoot ourselves and to trample ourselves and to stab ourselves with mental knives. The idea is to see which part of us is truly hurt. Why did we react this way? Why are we ready to change the situation and ourselves and our reaction in some situations, but for others it feels a bit too heavy for us? Not yet, it's not the right moment yet. Why? If something is stopping you from doing what you want right now, when there is nothing else, don't put conditions on the present. Let it be as it is. It's like me saying, if there are 20 people here, we won't do the presentation, or if only men come. Next time.
We're heading to Gabrovo.
The Emmanuel Manual of House of Culture, we're heading to Gabrovo. After that, we'll get back to the map. Because we keep going, and then we return to Plovdiv, a very interesting area. The last time I went to Gabrovo was on a school trip.
Last time we went to Gabrovo together was during our trip through Osvobozenci before Sabujenci.
I remember it was a trip, but not a school trip.
One thing I know for sure, Bulgaria on 3 seas, Gabrovo on 3 logs.
You just can't help but say it.
We arrived in Gabrovo.
But here again, is it really that big? Didn't we arrive in Gabrovo? We have a sip of coffee, move the books, and get started.
People, even before we entered the hall, welcomed us this time with incredible excitement and with flowers, and they were literally waiting for us up front, and it was really nice. Even half an hour before the event, it was really cool.
Your strength is always everywhere, and only we ourselves are what holds us back from it, no matter what we call it. For some it's God, for others it's providence, for others it's the source, and for others it's the universe. In the end, it doesn't really matter because it's still just a definition, a label that we put from an earthly human perspective to this embrace which, as they say in China, if you try to name the Tao, it is no longer the Tao. If we start putting names on everything that is, then it is no longer everything that is. It becomes everything that is with a certain condition, with certain limitations. It is not as sacred, not as vast as its original substance as it is when it simply is. And that's why the motto is rather, become what you are, period. The book is an invitation to remember, to information, to knowledge in the ancient language, gnosis, as they called it, which is already within you and you don't need to look for it anywhere outside. Yes, this is just an external tool. Yes, what you watch and consume as content can be interpreted as something external, but with one condition. You are the ones who originally wished for it in your thoughts, you emitted it, you directed this focus toward the universe. And in some form, does it really matter which? It comes back to you. Even if it's hard for us to meditate, if the word channeling or being a contactee seems complicated, if we still don't know how to activate our intuition, the simplest thing we can do is to look at our surroundings, those who are around us. They contain enough knowledge, labels, definitions, and information to give us a hint about what we need to do next. The other question is whether we are ready to listen to them, because being ready to listen sometimes means admitting that they are more right than I am. And here again we will be tested both by the people closest to us and by those who are more influential. Again, you will be tested not by someone from the outside, but by yourselves as a broader energy. Will you judge again? Will you point fingers? Will you say, this person doesn't deserve this? I decide so. In my opinion, it's like that. I hope something happens to him, whatever it may be, without realizing the law of reflection, without realizing that whatever we emit every single moment, it always comes back to us. It's just that sometimes, in our case, it happens that we have to wait 10 years to understand why it came back to us. But it does come back. And that's why Baba Vanga says, be careful what you wish for, because every wish, besides being a wish, is also a choice, a focus. And what does choice mean? From the Bulgarian language, from the sum of everything. Gabrovo surprised us very pleasantly. The atmosphere here when we were coming was very empty, and we thought, the people aren't here, they've left because it's a day off and apparently they're somewhere else. But everyone was in the hall, which surprised me, considering there was no advertisement announced by the place itself, nor posters or that kind of materials. All the people came prepared, right on time, and at 11 o'clock the hall was full. We had a really good time, the place was very nice and pleasant.
We had to add extra chairs.
We had to add extra chairs. Thank you for the flowers, for the warm welcome, it was simply wonderful.
We are very grateful to all the people who came and welcomed us outside the hall with these beautiful flowers, and for being so kind, warm, and present. It was a really cool city, and it was a really cool presentation.
A very pleasant experience, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Today we're in Razgrad. Yesterday we traveled. We managed to get from Gabrovo to Razgrad. We arrived here and now it's 10:42. The event will start at 11 and we're at the Razgrad Gallery.
Hello from me, I'm very happy because this tour of ours shows me how many of you there are in these cities. I don't want to call them smaller so I don't offend anyone or hurt anyone, but smaller in scale. Anyway, you can see how the turnout is strong and the audience is really engaged, and when an event like this happens, they respond and they're present. Today in Razgrad it won't be any different. I'm saying this before we've even entered the hall, because doubts can arise in the human mind. You might think, well, who would come to a place like this? People have things to do, or the city is empty, everyone is resting, you know, it's the holidays and so on. But these things we're talking about and who we are, they're beyond that. So I want to thank each one of you who took the time and is here. And you actually show your people in your city that there are many like you, that there are many of you, and that you have the opportunity to gather even more often. The most beautiful thing is when you let things surprise you. The place is wonderful, simply excellent. You are seekers, otherwise the hall wouldn't be full. You are explorers, do you want more answers? That's why we named the show we're doing right now, Explorers of Reality. Not shared reality, but your personal reality, which you choose every day. And these explorers are endless. We're already approaching episode number 100, which, along with the full halls, tells me just one thing. People are ready now. People are starting to share. People are becoming braver and braver. They are starting to talk about strange synchronicities, about déjà vu, about out-of-body experiences, about channeling, about being a contactee, about connection in general, each in a different way. With nature, with sacred geometry, with the sacred elements, with the universe, with this whole fractal and all the magic that surrounds us. When you start down this path at the beginning, even before you share it with everyone, it is very lonely, it is difficult, it is full of doubt and pain. Mostly, it's you who causes it to yourself. You even become so good at it that you can put on all kinds of masks and pretend in certain situations. However, when you're alone with yourself, it's like you pull out the biggest spear from the Trojan War and stab it right into your heart because you just don't deserve it. This is my message. Each one of you deserves it. You always can, and you always are. And in the book, you'll see it in different ways. No, don't ask if there might be. Just subscribe.
Subscribe.
Try. Do you see this is just a joke? In principle, there are different methods for energy protection. This has been known for a long time, and even ancient civilizations practiced it because of the times they lived in. But right now, personally for myself, I feel most protected when I am most sincere. You see, you can't just imagine a ball of energy and wish for it to touch only those who are meant for you, those you prefer. If someone wishes you harm, it comes back to them, but it comes back anyway. The idea isn't for you to make it worse for them, to make things dark for the person, but for me, this just works better. I know that this way other processes are activated and my aura, my field becomes quite wide. So any darkness, any kind of attack, it enters this energetic field of light and it also becomes light.
Here we are, we're on the road again.
I want to say that we're just leaving Razgrad. We're very impressed. A full hall with the aura. We were just saying that since the very beginning of the tour, people used to come at the last minute, but now they're arriving half an hour before the event, even 20 minutes earlier. They sit calmly and wait, and when the exact time comes, everyone is already in their seats. That's how it was today. It was very different. We were in a gallery, a very beautiful place. And when the lecture was over, one of the gifts I received was a small version of the creation by Michelangelo. And why? I'm saying this, it's very interesting because at every event I explain that the reason I realized that my book is called Touching Reality is that on one side stands Adam reaching with his finger, on the other side is God, that on one side stands Adam with eyes and a finger, on the other side is God, the angels, the source, and between them there is an empty space, and that space is choice. Even if he gives you all the knowledge in front of you, you still have the opportunity to choose. And accordingly, this is not written in the book. The woman who came here wasn't at the previous presentations and decided to draw a small section right on both hands. How it almost touches. And actually, this is a unique synchronicity. I'm saying and sharing it, and she's carrying a painting. unique. Razgrad was very nice. Gabrovo was wonderful.
Thank you. It was an exceptionally wonderful weekend with two cities that really surprised us by how many people there were and by how many awake people there were. Mostly people who are searching and who also found each other.
That's mostly it, because we, as we say, get together and keep moving forward. But the connection through sharing remains. You find friends, you find people you know, but you didn't expect them to be there at that place, and suddenly you run into each other and it feels really nice for you, and for us it feels even better. In these moments we can step aside and let you get to know each other better, and so we feel a sense of completeness, of fulfillment, of wholeness, integrity. Really, it's very nice. Thank you. A full report.
We're getting ready to leave for Razgrad.
What's this called? This salvia. This is salvia. They sent it to us from Spain. It has a premonitory function. It works especially if you have a cold. It helps you to incense yourself like in the Arab world. There it's every day, morning and evening. Did you leave already? Yes, it's very good. We're heading to Razgrad, the closing cities of the tour. I'm very happy. It's really cool. Today it will be different. I say it as if it's not different everywhere, but since we took a 5-6 day break, it feels different to us. We haven't had an event for 3 weeks, and that's how you feel the change in pace. It will be interesting. We're in a gallery again. Yes, Yambol by MGM, thank you. Thank you. Are you testing me? The specifics of filming was one of our subjects. What is the specificity of today, as I feel it is, calm, natural, genuine. A stream of people will appear now, and soon the hall will be full. But today, I'll approach you differently, because I've been influenced by the content I've consumed in the last 48 hours. So I watched a documentary about the dark side of the Osho cult, which turned out to be accessible in Bulgaria, a respected figure for all the books and wisdom he left behind, and my perspective changed a lot because of that. What I learned added to my perspective, but at the same time I'm also researching and studying the life of the Dalai Lama, the current Dalai Lama. So these things immediately intertwine in my mind with the current speech or what I want to say. That's just how my brain works. So I don't know, it feels more interesting, more different. For the first time we won't sleep over during the tour, which is disappointing because you want the full experience. But now we came, and after that we'll go back to Plovdiv. But the day after tomorrow we'll sleep in Kazanlak. So one thing is for another. Apparently there's a reason for it. Lobobaya is an interesting place. Or Lobobaya, that's a Czech architect, a very interesting place. And it looks a bit like Razgrad. Here and there were a lot, and there it was, yes, and it was the same dark blue. Hello, 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 hello. Osho himself, when he goes to America, says, "America, I am the Messiah you need." Those are dangerous words. Dangerous words because this has been happening for a long time, and even nowadays. This type of gathering continues. If you look at it from a slightly different angle, when you see it in principle, there are people who listen and someone who speaks. In other words, even this type of gathering can be considered as such a thing, but with one huge difference. And one big request to everyone: we meet wonderful people at the events. Be careful, be demanding of yourselves, of your personal beliefs, of what you are made to believe, what you are told is the truth, what is presented to you. With good oratory skills, many people say, right, that I also have such oratory skills, which I don't disagree with, but I understand very well this type of approach when it is used by these types of gurus, by these types of AM, individuals who have somehow already set themselves apart in advance, even with their clothing. A big division that they are better, they are the best, they are above, they are more, and so on, which is very skillful, and the whole thing is a very subtle deception. Yes, for a person to believe that there is someone in front of him who will give him all the answers. And at the same time that someone manages to convince the person that he is not above him and doesn't think of himself that way. And speaking about this, connecting things with ancient Hermeticism and the messages of Todd Atlanta, when we hear the words, the all is mind, the world is mental, everything moves, everything vibrates, gender manifests in everything, everything has its polarity. These concepts, when we hear them, yes, we hear the encoded information that starts to vibrate the moment we say them. But at the same time we say to ourselves, this is very abstract. What am I supposed to do with this? Everything vibrates. What am I supposed to do? The first thing you can do is think about how even the column you're leaning on right now also has a certain speed. And inside the particles, the molecules, the atoms also vibrate in a certain way. Because our consciousness can't take in all that information, and for that reason the ego or the different filters we have, they cut it out. So to speak metaphorically, a pleasant part of our view of reality, and the rest seems to disappear for a moment. It's still there, just not for our consciousness. In order to focus, to know what to do, what our life should be like, we need to cut out everything else in quotes, everything that isn't important right now for the task we've set ourselves as energy. The key is within you, but at some point you decide to swallow the key and forget that this is your own garden. And you do everything possible to find the key. This is a touch with reality. Understood well.
Hello friends, it's around 7:45 in the morning right now. We're getting in the car.
I wanted to film myself to share what we saw yesterday since you weren't there. We witnessed the preparation of the team behind the project.
The cyclists of the Giro d'Italia, because it's currently taking place in Bulgaria. And today, by the way, they're starting from Plovdiv. That's very interesting. So let's connect here if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.
The whole organization, they take apart the bike down to its basic parts. They pass by spraying with those Boss vests, with those big vans. Everything is shining, electric inside, refrigerators.
Yes, well, the unique taste.
That's what it is. It was intense and the team was impressive. We were like that, but the Tesla charging stations were available. And so, since we're free, you go and you can charge your car whenever you want.
The day before, we had to charge quickly because today we have to leave. So yesterday we took the opportunity and it was already evening. We witnessed something really cool, and now is the moment when we have to
Head towards Kazanlak. See you. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. It's possible, it's possible, it's possible. Subscribe to the channel Chitai. It's a lot. I've said a lot to get a chance because the style said this is the new physical use, likely because you touched ours, and I think here it was too much since you interacted with it. But the passion is very strong. Thought always comes first, and then the physical body, always the neural network, always our thoughts and impulses. They control the command center of our entire biological organism, and from there the body obeys. Of course, there is the possibility that subconsciously, with our accumulated programs, at some point we might be left with the belief that the body is separate from the mind, that it just reacts, and in those moments there's nothing we can do. The body, which is yet another lie again from the mind, because it is a very clever manipulator, and the deep realization and the secret that the ancient priests have been trying to tell us for years and thousands of years throughout the ages is that all of this depends solely and only on you. Hello? What is your name? You are very old. Okay, hey, there's a spot here. There's also one by the piano. Hey, here by the piano, do you want it? Very good. I realize that it's very unusual to talk about these kinds of concepts when you're facing someone or sometimes when a person is in their own world. Mamato. The truth is that always, no matter what we hear, we're always in our own world, and there's no escaping our own world because we always carry ourselves with us. If you want, go to Antarctica, run thousands of kilometers away from here, and even if you hide from everyone, you'll still take yourself with you. Around each of you, there is a huge field, a torus of energy, which, when you allow yourself to speak from your heart and your truth, it activates. Mechanisms that work whether you understand them or not, they just work and spin around you. Synchronicities of events that make you better, more genuine, kinder, and more passionate. That's why when you wake up in the morning, you have more and more reasons to live and to exist right now in this moment. Because since you exist, you are needed. You are needed by those around you. You are needed by those you are yet to meet. You are needed by the whole. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart that today you chose to focus your attention on something different, where you won't encounter anything more different than yourselves. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Friends, it's already empty around me, just as we came, and now we're finishing a unique celebration here. I ended up at the Chudumi Museum. It was a very nice meeting. Thank you for the way you welcomed me. I liked it so much that you didn't want me to finish. I extended it as much as I could. At least that's what we agreed on, because these are just book presentations. But we can talk, reflect, contemplate. We connect on a much deeper level, for which I am very grateful. Kazanlak was an unforgettable memory, and until next time.
Hello, I am in front of the hotel where our event is taking place in Plovdiv. Today is May 17th and we arrived an hour early, and there are already quite a few people in the lobby and people who are waiting for us and welcomed us. We are very happy to be in our city. It feels very intense, very different, because I don't know if it's just because it's our city and we just feel it, and then we have the energy swirling around in it. Or maybe it's just gonna be really big and there will be a lot of people, I don't know, but it really feels important. And today is the day right after Dara won Eurovision. So now we're going to channel and bring out our inner Bangalaga.
Can't we Bangalaga, Bangalaga, Bangalaga? Yeah, Bangalaga. That's what I said. It's not bad that we didn't discover it, but this time Dara discovered it mainly since last night. It's really fresh. Congratulations, Bulgaria. Congratulations to everyone. It's an amazing thing, and at the same time it was logical. By the way, on Grigor Dimitrov's birthday, Dara won Eurovision and brought so much joy to all of us, especially for those who have kept something inside themselves, who have experienced hate, malice, and in some way, trials. And after that, they've gone through a transformation and have seen that even that can't stop you when you bring out your true Bangalaga from within. So thumbs up all the way.
And so you in the first interview? Quantum physics works.
Quantum physics works, the spirit in you works. In general, the power within you, that's the path. No, speak like your grandpa. My grandpa, I only love yours. Well, he got offended himself. This is a word that everyone has to find the exact meaning of for themselves. Bangaranga, 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 bangaranga. All victory, Bulgaria. A great victory for all of us. Hello, hello. I'm starting with this because things are connected. As always, those who become prominent Bulgarians, before they become great and reach this moment of triumph, are always harshly criticized and slandered. He's pocketing the money. Why it's like that, I don't know. I won't take it upon myself to be the person to answer that question, but personally, I didn't like it. Let me make a quick note while everyone settles in. My partner is the winner of X Factor. We've been closely involved in all these circles. We know what kind of pressure we're talking about. We know what kind of performance it is, what kind of dancers, what kind of organization. I didn't like it when all of this was directed at Dara. Clearly, sometimes we're missing something and we like to crush others. But despite all of that, she handled it. We're already at the 14th presentation before the start of the tour. To get a touch of reality. I hadn't been to a single book presentation before. Now I've been to 14. I think she's at 8. Just joking. In no way do I want what you hear from me to sound like an obligation, as if it has to be done. As if I am something more than any of you, or as if I have reached something and you still have to go there to earn it, to achieve it. And in no way do I want it to seem like I'm standing here telling you something or trying to convince you of anything. There's no such thing. I have written a message, shared a point of view, a book as a result of my journey, of what has happened to me, of the years I have lived. Not everyone at this age gets to experience such a wide range of experiences with different people, in different circumstances, in different cities, with different opportunities, and all of this. At some point I started to find explanations for how it works, why it works, and how we can get involved in this whole bangarang. Those who want to, those who are ready, they find each other. At some point it happens that we become unnecessary. Because you meet people you never imagined would be here at exactly this time, and at some point you start to share, to connect, and our job is done. Subscribe. Subscribe 24, that's right, don't stay silent, but this is Venci, the man of the hour, literally. An episode with him came out yesterday. We are very proud and happy that we recorded this. Really fuck fate and what I told you, what I recommended to you about Trinita, whose body this is. It's in the actors, but I don't know it. She told me that this is the previous video course where you reviewed it, not cool. I can't express enough my gratitude for what happened in the last month and a half. And I'm very happy that we're finishing in Sofia. And that's why, if you don't remember anything else from me and from what I've set out to do, if you understand something, say it. If you feel it, experience it, share it. For the moment it will work, then you'll learn something else. Share that too. You never know at what moment or how it will affect someone. There are people who, because of something we've said in a video, are packing their bags in the States and coming to Bulgaria. There are some who quit their jobs. There are some who finally say, after 20 years, to the person next to them, I love you. It's different for everyone, but my request, my plea, While you're listening to this and as we create these interactions, please pay attention to your reactions and to everyone's need to seek salvation outside ourselves. Use personalities, use external knowledge, what is given to you, but don't form it into a kind of idolatry. Simply relying on someone or something because it's better than you, it is not better than you. I'm telling you, I've been in all kinds of fields. My phone is full of all sorts of contacts. Everyone has the same doubts, the same worries, the same sense of guilt, the same self-harm. They've just gotten better at hiding it. And while I have your attention, think about one more thing. The most valuable currency right now isn't our time, it's our attention. What do you focus on? What do you choose to keep focusing on, even though you know you don't like it at all? And usually we wait for it to explode, to disconnect for a moment so we can realize that we're here for something more. And that more is different for everyone, but we're here for something more than where we are right now. And the earlier we start on this path of self-exploration, the more naturally we'll reach the conclusion that first, we're all connected, and second, my name is Kim Ariela Leo. The only reality. It started to get hot for you. It's my pleasure, thank you. Now, when you stand up, the energy will be different. That's why take a breath in a world that constantly makes us rush. Take a breath. And now I will sign the books you've picked up. We will take a photo with everyone, as always, right down to the last person. But remind yourself more often that whatever happens, truly being present in the moment can give us so much more than living in a probable future. And for me, it was such a day and such a tour towards the next one, and for the next moment, as I always say, until the next moment, because we will pass through this time unnoticed, and somewhere along the way, we will meet together again. Thank you. The tour is over, guys. I want to express my deepest gratitude. I still can't process that it's over, and that we actually did something that I was told is very hard to do, takes a long time, and is very complicated. I'm proud of the people around me, of myself, of the fact that I endured this, that I managed in the best way I could. Here you go, this is the result. And that we managed to film as much of the process as possible and to edit it so it will remain recorded forever. Because if there's one thing I've learned so far, it's that every moment is priceless, nothing ever repeats itself. That's why we can all keep learning together, to appreciate every single moment more and more, and to truly be present in that moment. To fill it with our presence, to fill it with our essence, to fill it with our hearts, and to be grateful that we were a part of it. So, in just a moment, thank you. We walk this path together. The time for real in-person meetings is never enough, even if we know that we stretch it and it depends on us. For those of you who want to share how it touched you, I wanted to create something in the form of a community, but I know that these types of groups fade away over time. And from my experience so far, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something different. So share in the comments under this video what the book gave you and how it changed you, what you took from it. And for those of you who don't want to share publicly yet what you've experienced, here it is. Send your story to this email address. I want and value most of all personal sharing, personal relationships, what we can talk about as friends. Write to me at this email address and share your feedback about the book. I'm very curious to find out what happened since you got it, which chapters you liked the most, what you wanted, maybe something that deserves more attention. This is very important for an author, for a creator, for an artist, and it's really cool when you can see real feedback. I will read all of them, I will reply personally, I can't wait to read what you think, but more importantly, touching reality is just the beginning. A handwriting, a marker, a sharing, an end to imposing an advantage one a step a popcorn to be more and more ourselves. Share in the comments below what you felt while watching the movie, what you sensed while flipping through the pages, a touch of reality. If you're experiencing this for the first time, leave a comment below. Because for us, the content creators, the authors, the artists, feedback is very important. Because as you know, right now there's a camera in front of me, and the paradox is that I'm present in your homes. Some people fall asleep with these shows, others wake up to them, and that's always been a very strange feeling, and it will never change. That's why this is very important. It's a different kind of coming together, a closer connection, just to feel more in tune with each other and understand each other better. And yes, artists and creators need this closeness, this contact, and that's very important to me. I have always tried to have a personal connection with everyone and treat them with respect who has made a choice and dedicated themselves from their time and attention to something I have created, whether it's a 30-minute video or a 320-page book, first edition. So for me, that really means a lot. Thank you for all the support throughout the entire tour, to all the venues that welcomed us, to the community centers, to the libraries, to all the places where the doors were open, to create something different and to give a part of myself through what I do best. The tour will continue abroad very soon. Follow my Instagram and the community posts here on YouTube for the next dates and locations abroad. And there is also a possibility that there will be a few surprise cities that couldn't be included in the official tour, but I don't mind going there as well, as long as there's interest from both sides and we can create another similar event. It's truly a pleasure. And from September, we start with the other already official live events that will take place, which will be full day or 2-day events, and there will be a complete program there. We can really expand because here we're only together for 2 or 3 hours, but I'll save the surprises for then. Until then. We continue with the shows. I took a little break now, but in June we continue. There are many interesting guests, many interesting topics we've prepared, so stay tuned for what's coming up. Interesting events are happening all over the world. Right now, movies are coming out on topics that interest all of us, so there's a lot to talk about. But for now, stay aware, stay vigilant, remain calm in the chaos, and enjoy, if you haven't already, what is in touch with reality. The book isn't written just to be read once and then put on the shelf, no, on the contrary. It is made so that no matter which page you open, there is always a daily message and something that will touch you. At least that's how I felt while I was creating it. I'm looking forward to seeing how you feel, and that's really, really interesting to me. So my respects and thank you for all the support to all the readers so far. That for a moment you allowed yourselves to step away from the screens, to step away from the phones, to step away from the devices and to touch the paper and the magic of creation in the form of texts and lines in this book. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and see you in just a moment. I forgot to mention the most important thing, physically. You will have the opportunity to get the book almost anywhere in the entire chain of bookstores, gas stations, and places where there are books starting from September.